Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of the Post Position Podcast. I'm your host, Harrison Grimm, welcoming in the brand new 2020 year. I hope everyone had a great and safe Christmas, Hanukkah, and New Year's. It's a new year. There's a lot of exciting NBA topics to tackle. With me is my co-host, Jack Connell. Jack, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. It's been a nice little holiday break from us doing some post-position podcasts. We're ready to get into it. It's been a wild winter in the NBA, and I'm ready to get. It's just heating up now, and I'm ready to talk about some of it.
Yeah, we're really coming up on the trade deadline here. The trade deadline this year is early February. There's been some storylines heating up, which we'll probably tackle a little bit in this episode. So let's just dive right into it. Our first topic is Anthony Davis, and this is fairly recent news, but the Lakers offered him a contract extension just today as we're recording this, but he turned it down, and really, in my eyes, this is a storyline that's probably bigger than it really should be. It's smart for Anthony Davis to turn down this money because not only can he make more in the summer, but he allows himself to keep his options open. I mean, if you look at the teams with cap space, none of them are contenders. You got the New York Knicks. Atlanta Hawks is the biggest, I think, in terms of money they can offer to free agents. None of them are contenders, and the LA Lakers have LeBron, and while he is still getting older, they're really the only landing spot for him where he can't contend. So it just makes sense to me. Jack, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, when I saw it for 2 seconds, I was like, oh my God. And then I looked at him, I'm like, oh, he could just make $56 million more this summer and take a 5-year, $202 million contract. Again, I really don't see why he wouldn't stay put. The only other team I think that he would even consider is his hometown Chicago Bulls. But even then, I really don't think he would give them that much time of the day. I seriously think it's just he's going to LA for $56 million more locked in. Makes sense. He's going to be a Laker for a while. He's going to be the future of LA. Nothing really to write home about.
Yeah, pretty much I'm on the same page with that. But, casual fans are always going to make a big deal out of it. And in the report, which was written by Chris Haynes with Yahoo Sports, he specifically said that nobody in the league is really batting an eye on this. Everyone is pretty much assuming that he is going to re-sign with the Lakers. And I think you can pretty much pencil that in. I mean, obviously it's the NBA and anything can happen. But, that's what it's looking like right now is he's going to be a Laker next season.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think why he would leave Los Angeles for any other situation, to be honest with you.
Barring an imploding season or something, I just don't see it. Yeah. But we do have to talk about it because it's news. It's Anthony Davis, who's probably a top 10 player in the NBA on record-wise, one of the best teams in the NBA. So we are approaching All-Star Weekend, and some All-Star news has been getting leaked out, specifically with the dunk contest. News that Zach LaVine may or may not be participating in it came out. But there's a whole list of people. Obviously, Derrick Jones Jr. is another one, high flyer, really good dunker. But the name on here that everyone seems to be batting an eye at, including myself, is Dwight Howard. What are your thoughts on that?
It just seems like they're paying homage to the crowd. Is it just me, or are they announcing the dunk contest participants really, really early this year? I feel like I've never seen it like a month in advance.
Well, it's not officially announced. It's basically this kind of happens every year where like news of invites gets leaked out by Shams or Woj, and some people accept, some people decline. So it's not anything too unusual.
I mean, I think this is lined to be a good dunk contest. Regardless, we'll get to Dwight in a second. I mean, Zach LaVine, I believe it said he will only do the dunk contest if he's selected as an all-star player, which makes sense. I mean, have a week off or do some dunks. Like, I think if he's doing it all, he wants to do everything. If he's going to do a dunk contest, he wants to be in the all-star game. I mean, but I heard Ja Morant was also invited, which I think was an obvious one. He's going to be electric. And then you also have Derrick Jones Jr., who's high flyer, athletic. I mean, his athleticism is really seen best when he's in games, just dominating athletically. He's probably maybe the best in-game dunker in the league. John Moran, I think, is another. LeBron James, obviously, but Giannis. But I think he's one of the best in-game dunkers, and I don't know how it's going to translate to dunk contest per se, but I still think it'd be exciting to see. Diallo, I was kind of hoping to see in the dunk contest this year. Maybe still is. We don't know yet. Dwight, I don't get it. I mean, he's 34. Unless your name's LeBron James, you don't have really much of your athleticism left at 34 years old. If you're throwing Dwight Howard, you might as well throw in 40-some-year-old Vince Carter if you're going for the throwback. Like, I don't get it.
My issue with it is it's not that Dwight's 34 and older, because he can still get up. He still has a few nice dunks. It's just that big man and the dunk contest really don't mix well. And I get Dwight is a dunk contest champion in the past, but really the only phenomenal dunks that big men can do in dunk contests are ones where they're jumping high off the ground. And obviously, Dwight's older. He's not jumping up off the ground like he was a few years ago when he won numerous slam dunk titles. So it's just a bit of a head scratcher to me. Honestly, I thought they could put in someone else, maybe a younger name. I know Zaire Smith hasn't seen much time, but he's someone that is very bouncy, and he'll probably participate in the slam dunk contest at some point in his career. He would be fun to see. And obviously he's a smaller guard, so that they can do more. He's not just jumping high off the ground doing vertical dunks.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of interesting young talent that is very athletic in the NBA. So I think Zaire said one. Like I said, Diallo. I think there's so many of them out there. I don't feel like it's right unless they're adding him kind of like the All-Star game had the legacy slot. Maybe he's a legacy dunker. Who the hell knows? Probably not. But I feel like it kind of hurts taking away from some of that younger talent that has an opportunity to be in the dunk contest.
It's one of those examples where you wish Zion was healthy, because you know for a fact that everyone would be tuning in to see Zion Williamson in the dunk contest, and I'm sure he would be down for it if he's healthy. But there's just a big question mark on his health right now, and it's unknown if he'll be ready at that point. And I'm sure New Orleans isn't about to put their franchise star in a dunk contest, in a meaningless dunk contest when they want him available and healthy for the future.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't think we're going to – I think we'll see him in dunk contests in the future, just not this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. So that brings us to our next topic involving All-Star Weekend. All-Star voting has started. Some of the votes came out, and, of course, with fan voting, there's some questionable decisions. A lot of Bleacher Report fans put in Alex Caruso in the West. Taco Fall, who's played, I think, 3 NBA games, is a top 10 for the front court, which is interesting to say the least. But I do want to talk about our All-Star picks, and we both just came up with our own. We haven't discussed them yet because I want to have first reactions going. So let's start off with the easier of the votes. Jack, why don't you tell me your starters for the East?
My starters for the East. All right. I have Ben Simmons.
Okay.
Kyle Lowry. Joel Embiid. Giannis. Pascal Siakam.
Wow, okay, that's interesting. So I believe our front court, if I heard correctly, is the same. You got Giannis, Pascal, and Joel in your front court?
Yeah, correct.
All right. And I think you can lock all those dudes in. Raptors have been really good. The Sixers, while they've been struggling as of late, they're hopefully going to start picking it up. If not, Joel Embiid's definitely going to be a starter. He's the best center, probably in the East. So I think you can pencil all those guys in. And I get Pascal's been hurt, but he's been good enough to warrant that starting spot.
Mm-hmm.
Our backcourts are very different. So you said Kyle Lowry and Ben Simmons?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. I guess a spoiler alert, I do not have Kyle Lowry on my all-star team,
Really?
partly because he's been out for a long time. And in my eyes, if you do want to put another Toronto player in that list, I think Fred VanVleet's been better than him. Fred VanVleet's been playing out of his mind. My backcourt, I'll just get down to it. is Kemba Walker from the Celtics and Bradley Beal and the Wizards. And I know the Wizards aren't that good. Nobody thought they were going to be good. They're pretty mediocre at best. But I mean, you just can't deny Bradley Beal and his talent and the numbers he's been putting up. He's been averaging, last time I checked, more than like 7 assists per game, and that's really the area of growth that I've seen from his game that I've been impressed with. With John Wall out, he's been asked to facilitate more. He's done that. He's also putting up 25 plus points per game, and I think that warrants him a starter spot.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I kind of forgot that Kemba Walker existed. I was just going through all the teams. I'm like, who's good on that team? And I'm like, thinking the Celtics. I'm like, Jaylen Brown, like Tatum, and I'm like, oh. And as soon as you said, I'm like, what the? How the hell did I forget? I might have to make some modifications to my list. I forgot all about that certain Celtics guard.
No, you're good. I can go into depth while you're doing some altercations to your All-Star team. Let's finish up the East. I'll go in on the bench, and then also my 3 wild card spots. Off the bench, I have Bam Adebayo, Jimmy Butler, 2 Heat guys because the Heat have been really good. Jason Tatum from the Celtics, Chris Middleton because I feel like the Bucks really need 2 players. Like they've been that good, they deserve 2 players at least on the All-Star team, and that's obviously their second best player. He's been playing well. I got Malcolm Brogdon, who I think really, really deserves it because the Pacers have been solid without Oladipo, and he's a major reason for that. Not just for scoring, but his assist numbers are way up. He's someone I think definitely deserves to be on the All-Star team. I also got Ben Simmons, who you had in your starting lineup. Ben started off the year slow, but he's been heating up. The Sixers have been struggling as of late, as I've said. But, they're good. I think they're good enough to have 2 players, and probably Tobias Harris deserves it over him, but I think Ben's probably going to get the nod. And then my last 2, who I actually have for the guard spots, this might cause some debate, but they're both on 2, I guess, underachieving teams is putting it light. But
I want to
2
guess.
bad
Can I
teams.
guess?
I got Trae Young, who's putting up like 29 and 8 on a horrible Hawks team, and a lot of that isn't his fault, in my opinion. I kind of sound like Ben Steiner. A lot of that isn't his fault because John Collins has been out with a drug suspension. And then you got 2 rookies who are probably your next 2 best player in DeAndre Hunter and Cam Reddish, who people call Cam Redmiss. And then Zach
I've never
LaVine.
heard that.
Zach LaVine, because one, I want to see him in the dunk contest, and it's kind of snaky what he's saying. Like, I'm only going to be in the dunk contest if I'm an all-star, but you know what? If I'm him, I get that. And he's also been putting up monster numbers on an underachieving Bulls team, but I think a lot of that has to do with their coach, and I do think Zach LaVine deserves it.
I was exactly right with my 2 predictions for what you're going to say for that, by the way.
What were your predictions?
Well, no, when I asked who were your 2 guards you were going to put in there, I knew exactly when you said that who they were going to be.
Yeah. So, go ahead, yeah.
Oh, I was going to go into mine. I have my adjustments. So, I flipped it up a bit. Lowry, I took out. I put Bradley Beal as a starter.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kemba will be on the bench.
Okay.
And I have Malcolm Brogdon as a guard off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these are in no particular order. I just have it in order of guards and forwards as it is. My 3 forwards forwards has big men.
Okay.
Jimmy Butler.
Mm-hmm.
Bam Adebayo.
Mm-hmm.
Andre Drummond.
Okay.
And then my wild cards, I have a mixture of 5 players that I couldn't really choose 2. It's just like 5 guys I think that could be in the hunt. And I have Trae Young. This is no order.
Okay.
Tobias Harris.
Mm-hmm. Kyrie
Irving if he gets healthy in time. Domantas Sabonis and Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, I almost put on Drummond and Domantas Sabonis, but like I said, I feel like you gotta spread out the fun for teams. And I'm not sure that the Pacers are good enough to have two All-Stars, and Brogdon's definitely deserving on that team, so that's kind of why I left him off. And the Pistons are obviously banged up. They're probably going to tear it all down. But Drummond is having an amazing year, so I can see why he's on your All-Star team.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to spread the love, but you can't spread the love when the other teams don't have all-star worthy players, in my opinion. I mean,
Fair.
the East is a very top six heavy team, so I feel the all-star
Mhm.
team kind of justifies that or kind of reflects on that.
Yeah. So I'll start off since you started off with the East starters. I'll start off with the West starters. And I'm pretty confident in the list I put together. The East, I think you can switch around starters and bench players, but I think you get the general idea of what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with my West starters, this is what I really think it's going to be. So I got James Harden, Luka Doncic in my backcourt.
Mm-hmm.
And then my front court, I got LeBron, Kawhi, and Anthony Davis.
I have that exactly.
That's yeah. I think you can pencil that in. James Harden's been putting up like 38 points per game. Luka's been pretty much a 30, 10, and 10 guy. The Lakers are really great. LeBron's leading the league in assists. Anthony Davis is averaging like 27 points per game. And Kawhi's been good when he's not out with load management. So I think that's what it's gonna be. That's what it should be, hopefully. Um, and I'm going down my West bench here, and I just realized I left off someone pretty controversial. So why don't you go ahead and start
All right.
and let me think
So
if I should put him on or not.
my bench guards,
Hmm.
I have Damian Lillard and Devin Booker. I think
Okay.
that's Lillard. I mean, obviously, and then Booker. Obviously, he's kind of been a not very successful team. They've been okay. They kind of been struggling a lot recently, but he's just been playing very well when he's playing. He's just been so dominant in these last couple of games. I think you have to include him. He's made his point known that he's a future star in this league, or currently a up and coming current star, you could say.
Yeah.
Then my bench forwards and big guys, I have Nikola Jokic, Paul
Hmm.
George, and Karl Anthony Towns. I think that's kind of par for the course. Well, I think everybody kind of has that as well. Under my wild cards, I have a mixture of 6 players here. It really depends on how these next couple weeks go. I have, in no particular order, Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, Chris Paul, DeMar DeRozan, CJ McCollum, Russell Westbrook.
Okay. Did you say Damian Lillard anywhere in there? Did I miss
Lillard's
that?
my backup card.
Okay, cool. Okay. So with West it's a bit difficult because it's a similar situation to the East where you got like these top 6 or 5 teams. They have a big drop off with your 7 and 8 seeds where they're below 500. So it's a bit harder to predict it. So I decided to leave my list intact, and I'm gonna explain why. So for my 3 forwards off the bench, I got Paul George.